So now let's talk about not judging one another. So I need to talk about that because that needs to be addressed. You know, our heart is deceitful above all things, as the Bible says. And sometimes, you know, as people improve their lifestyle and do things better than they did before, there is a tendency to think that maybe they are better than others because they eat properly and they do the right things, and it's easy to judge others because maybe others don't do what they do. So let me share a few verses with you. So Paul talks in Romans chapter 14 verse 2, for one believes that he may eat all things, another who is weak eats herbs. So we got to put this verse into context. So what happened is that there was a dispute in the congregation of Rome, and Paul was trying to provide his advice. He's talking of those who eat everything and those who do not eat everything. And there was a dispute regarding fasting. Fasting at this time, it was eating vegetables, or doing like a Daniel fast of our days. And Paul was telling basically people to not judge one another. Those who eat everything should not judge those who have a plant-based diet, and those who have a very good whole food plant-based diet should not judge those who eat everything. It's important though to, you know, we have to inform people to help them, but in the way Jesus did, not in our own sinful nature. You know, it's important to help and inform people, to advise them, and also we should consider the lifelong habits of people. Some people ate some kind of food since they were children, so it might take them more time to get away from some foods. So we have to consider the situation of the people, where they live. Also, there is some countries. When I was in Guyana, it was hard for some people to adopt a plant-based diet because, believe it or not, they don't have everything we have here. And even in some countries in Africa, they have to eat some kind of food like eggs to get some kind of nutrients. But for us who live in a country where we have all kind of foods, we have so much choice, well, we don't really have any excuse. So we need to pray and ask God for help to help us to eat the best we can. And then there is this verse that I like, that talks about not judging our brother, and because by judging our brother, you know, God will judge us. Okay. So let me continue. So God is the one who judge. We have to remember that we are all accountable for what we know. So once we know something, we are accountable for it. And I believe there will be people in heaven who ate unclean things because they didn't know it was unclean. But the Bible says that everyone shall give account for himself to God. And it talks about the abomination that in the eyes of God, there is abomination, and even in the time we live in today. It talks about the swine flesh, the mouse, the abominable things. God says to not consume them, and that there is consequences if we do, and we know it's wrong and we still do it. There is consequences. Revelation chapter 21 verse 8 says, but the cowardly, unbelieving, abominable, murderers, sexually immoral, sorcerers, idolaters, and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burns with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. So it's hard word, but that's the Bible, so it's truth. And we need to take this in consideration.